Good afternoon from the Église Sainte-Thérèse in Hirson. I'd like to play today to you a work which I think is quite unique in the virginal repertoire. It's called A Maske by Giles Farnaby. I think one of the most striking things about this piece is how it's so perfect and imperfect at the same time. Perhaps that could be said of Giles Farnaby in general. I say perfect in reference to this piece as a narrative. I mean how each melodic segment follows so naturally, beautifully, and meaningfully from the previous. And, well, the imperfections are actually very strange. This piece abounds with parallel fifths. The one that probably you will have already heard is there's also one that is quite easy to avoid, even without changing any harmonies. That's and also in general, the voice leading is just very broken up. For example, we have this passage. All the resolutions which really should be there and would make the thing so much smoother are not. Now, this piece only has one source as far as I'm concerned, so it is possible on a purely scientific basis to say, well, that's probably because the source is corrupt. As a musician, I'm interested and even happy and maybe a little bit grateful to be able to put that consideration aside and to try to interpret this piece as it stands in the manuscript, which is the Fitzwilliam. And what I found is that, or what I'm looking for, is that actually because of all these imperfections, this piece is intimate, it is tender, and it is human in a way that most of the virginal repertoire does not try to be. If there's one thing that Giles Farnaby is, it's personable. his personality and his immediacy shines through in every note. This cannot be said of William Byrd. This is a quality that was actually already remarked shortly upon the rediscovery of Farnaby's music in the early 20th century. People said, here is a man, as one can obviously see through his music, with whom one would very much like to spend a few hours. The title of this piece is quite puzzling, A Maske. Perhaps I have entirely misinterpreted the music, but it seems really to me that these notes as they stand can be nothing else than a kind of interior monologue, to borrow the well-known phrase, and I really don't see the courtly dance in it. Now, this interior monologue is of a kind of intimate passion, which to me now represents a really visionary testament of what music could be and would become in the time between Farnaby's and ours.